Hi, this is Joe again with another review for discussion. The topic we're going to be discussing in this video is going to be discussing. I'm going to be discussing a reality show. It's going to be, I think, starting a sixth season on CBS over the weekend, this coming weekend, and I think it's one of the more popular reality shows. Even though I think that a lot of it is set up, but it's entertaining regardless, and that is the television series, a reality show called Undercover Boss, which is on CBS, and I think it's a kind of an interesting concept at first, but after a while, you're going to get tired of it, and you've seen it enough times. And of course, the show is about an executive from a particular company, or an owner of a particular company, and they put him or her undercover, disguise them, and check out and do various jobs within that particular company. Most of the time, it's a franchise or a company that most Americans or people around the world are familiar with, and do various jobs in particular places, to particular either restaurants or locations throughout the country, or do certain things within the company, and they observe what they see, or they interact with the employees in a particular location. And then, of course, in the end of the show, the executive reveals themselves to the employees they interacted with, and at the end, they give them money, or bonus, or promotion, or they tell them what they're going to do to improve relations with the employees, or to improve the particular store or restaurant, or whatever the case may be. One of the first episodes, or at least the first episode I ever saw of this series, was I heard about it and it got pretty decent ratings for the first season. And then the episode that I was dying to see, and I saw about 50 minutes of it, of the 1 hour show. And there was an episode with Hooters. Because, obviously why, and we don't have to explain myself why. Because I always wanted to see how the owner of Hooters would interact and how the employees are treated and acted with. And the guy was like Kobe Brooks, and he found out not so long after his experience on Undercover Boss, like a year or so later, he sold the company. I don't know why, but he decided to sell it. And he saw how his restaurants were. I think he did mostly in Florida or Texas or something. He didn't do anything. We do have a location of Hooters in New York. I think a couple on Long Island. I think New Jersey has a Hooters restaurant in there. So there's plenty of places we could have went to. I only went to one Hooters in my life, and it was the Hooters in Baltimore, Maryland, in the Inner Harbor area. I don't know if the restaurant is still there, but I went there and I felt. I mean, it was alright. I mean, the food was alright, but the girls were better than the food. I'll tell you that right now. But anyway, there was one particular experience in that episode where a manager of a particular restaurant was mistreating the Hooter girls. Particularly one particular point where there was a lull between the lunch crowd and the dinner crowd. They're usually during this lull, like between from 2 to 5 or whatever, like 2 or 3 hours. He would let some of the girls go early and come back, either take the rest of the day off or come back later for the dinner crowd. So okay, who gets to go home early? And so he did this contest where they had all the girls eat out of place like a beans eating contest, and see who would finish the play first gets to go home. And one of the girls objected to it and said, "Hey, I have go to school or college. I have a college class at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, whatever it was." And he said, "Alright, okay, you're going to do this contest." And the guy was almost fired on the spot. He almost you want to Kobe Brooks was broke character and wanted to fire the guy on the spot. Eventually, at the end of the show, he did not get fired, and he did apologize to his staff, and then eventually the show was repeated again. It was repeated on CBS, and they updated that and said that particular manager no longer works in the company, which is a good thing. To me, he should have been fired. The guy should have broke character and fired the guy on the spot for doing that. But one person who did do that was the owner of Boston Market. Not the owner, one of the executives of Boston Market did do that to an employee. Because, and that clip is on YouTube, but the funny thing is that a bunch of these episodes of Undercover Boss are on YouTube. But unfortunately, the one that has the person who posted, and if the person who posted that video is watching this thing, I gotta tell you that there was a problem with your video. It stops within about like 5 minutes in, 5 to 10 minutes in. It just stops and the video freezes up, and you can't watch the rest of the video, and you can't even see the part where the woman who's the executive of Boston Market fires this guy. It freezes up and it just stops right in the middle. We're not even in the middle of not even the first quarter of the show it stops. So it's hard to see the particular episode of Boston Market. What went into it was that this employee in a particular location of Boston Market, I forgot where exactly the location was, says some pretty bad things about the customers, putting them down, calling them a bunch of idiots, and when they're trying to get to the front of the line, treating them like thinking they're a bunch of idiots, a bunch of morons, the customers to come in here, and she couldn't put up with that anymore, so she took them outside of the restaurant in the parking lot, took off her disguise, and says, "Look, I am the COO of Boston Market, and I'm here to tell you that you are now terminated." And then she spoke to the manager, and then broke her character for the manager of this location, or Boston Market location, and says, "Hey, I had to fire him." And he says, "Well, you had to fire my employee. What do you have to fire him for?" And it's my responsibility to do that. And she says, "Well, because of what he relayed to me while he was training me, and that's why I felt I had to break character and fire him." Said, "Oh, okay. As long as I understand what's going on." And that was about it. But they did have other shows about the 7-Eleven, White Castle. Let's see, what was it? Mohegan Sun, which is a famous casino up in Connecticut, and they had another location somewhere else. And also did one with another owner of the Chicago Cubs, which is one of the episodes that I actually sat down and watched the full episode. Because that particular episode, at least you see certain parts of Wrigley Field and the area around Wrigley Field that most of us do not get to see on television. Because hey, I'm in New York, so the only times I get to see Wrigley Field is the front of Wrigley, where the famous site home to Wrigley Field, home to Chicago Cubs, and maybe around Wayland Avenue or Sheffield Avenue, where players would hit home runs to either Sheffield Avenue or Wayland Avenue to see fans getting the ball, a home run ball or even a foul ball that completely leaves the stain on those two streets. And you see inside the scoreboard, which is a treat for any baseball fan. No matter what team you happen to follow. You also did one with I think the Utah Jazz. Not too many sport owners, unfortunately. Not too many. Mostly these executives like Models. They were with Models, which is, those of you that know Models, that's the local sporting goods chain in the New York City area. They're like the sporting goods store, and they did that, an episode of that. Not executive. But as a show, I think it's getting repeated. At least the format is repeated again and again and again. They go do job one, stocking shelves, another job working as an assistant manager, another job doing flipping burgers and all this type of stuff. And then just having to meet the one employee that says, "Oh, I'm homeless." And then I think in the episode with Modell, so I'm homeless, and then we in a shelter, and then they were my two kids, and I'm lucky to even have a job, considering they don't have a home to go back to and go to the shelter and live in the shelter. So of course, guess what happens? The guy gives her enough money so that she can buy a house. I mean, it's all formulaic. I mean, it happens in almost in every episode. Or someone who dropped out of school and is trying to raise money to go back to school. So the executive goes, okay, here's $20,000 for you to go back to school. And there's also one with a Hooters ripoff, which was like Twin Peaks, and another one called Tilted Kilt, which is similar to those two restaurants are kind of similar to both like Boss, Sports Bars, and it's similar to Hooters, but the outfit's a little more sexier because you see the midriffs on the matrices. And those two, and Tilted Kilt and Twin Peaks. Anyway, one of those two shows, they have a woman who has a sick father and also has a son with Alzheimer's. So I said, okay, here's $20,000 for you for any medical needs that your son has, and another $10,000 for care of your parents. Stuff. I mean, it's like do it again and again and again. The same thing. Instead of using this $30,000 or $40,000 to hire another employee, so more Americans can go back to work. Again, I know it'd be insensitive to this stuff, but it's kind of ridiculous after a while. So, here's another $10,000 for your kid, or $20,000 for a college fund. Here's all expense paid vacation for wherever you want to go. I mean, it's like the same bits almost every episode. I mean, it's nice to see the CEOs doing the jobs in their companies. But you always meet almost the same thing with people in the same situations, and it's really getting on your nerves after a while, and you can understand why. I don't think the show is as popular as it was when it first came on the air, but it still has a following, and CBS is still cranking them out. I think the first episode they're going to have for this coming season, this particular Sunday, on the Sunday that I'm doing this video, about True Value, the Hollywood store chain. So it's really going to be doing that bad. So, but to me, I think it's still a popular show. It's still formulaic, and I still think a lot of that stuff is set up in terms of meeting the people who really do need help. I'm not saying none of these people need help, but I think they're playing on the heartstrings of the viewers allowing that show. But I'm not saying it isn't bad. It's a good, okay series. So that's my review of Undercover Boss. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel, please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.